When you get yourself a new network adapter for Linux, you might find yourself wanting to disable the old built-in Wi-Fi chip you have in your computer, because every time you reboot your computer, it automatically prioritizes that, and it is a pain to continually just come here into this Wi-Fi thing and disable this and get on the other Wi-Fi adapter. So I'm going to teach you how to disable the built-in Wi-Fi chip you have, or any Wi-Fi adapter you might have and you want to keep it on your computer but disable it. I'll show you how to do that in NixOS. So it's pretty simple. There's only like a few steps. I have them written down here. We're going to walk through them together, and the first thing you need to do is open up a terminal. By the way, I'll have these instructions in the description so you can follow along and copy and paste all of these instructions if you want. So the first thing you do need to do is have a terminal open. I'm going to go here and zoom in for you guys. And then what you want to do is run this command right here. It says run lshw -class network. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it into the terminal. And now you'll notice that when we hit enter on this, since we're on NixOS, it's not going to work right out of the box. And that's fine. That's fine. NixOS tells us how to fix this. We just use the Nix shell right here. So we're just going to copy this command right here and paste it in here. And if you do have this installed, feel free to use that as well. You don't have to use the Nix shell. But in my case, I don't have it installed. And if you don't have it installed as well, you can just use the Nix shell, because we're only going to use this once. We're not going to have this program on our computer for no reason. So we hit enter, and now we're in the Nix shell. And when we're in the Nix shell, that means we can now run this command again, and it will work. So let's copy that, and let's paste it here. And when we paste it, we'll get this weird, funky output. But don't worry, it's all under control. It just lists out all our network interfaces. So let's go through here and look at the description of each network. We can see we got network 1, 2, and 3. Let's look at the description. So we got one wireless interface, an Ethernet interface, and another wireless interface, which makes sense because we have two wireless interfaces, one the original Wi-Fi chip, and second the Wi-Fi adapter. Now we could ignore the Ethernet interface because we're not planning on disabling that or anything. If you want to disable that, by all means go ahead, but we don't need to disable that. We just need to disable a built-in Wi-Fi chip. So in order to do that, we just need to go through our wireless interfaces and check the bus info. If your bus info says USB, like this one right here, this is USB. So that tells me that this, remember the logical name WLP, you don't need to copy or anything, just remember that that's the name of the adapter because it says USB right here. But this one says PCI. So if it's PCI, that means it's built in. At least that's what I think. It means it's built in, so that's the one we want to disable because it's not our USB adapter. So when we found the one we need to disable, we just need to look through the configuration and look for the driver. So the driver in this case is in the configuration. We'll just go one by one, broadcast driver, and then we find the driver. Like our instructions say right here, find and copy the driver name. So that's what we need to do. We need to find and copy the driver name. So I'll copy this, and now we can exit out of the Nix shell. We could just clear this. As long as you have that copied, maybe write it on a notepad or something if you need it. Maybe use XED, the text editor, and just paste it in there. As you can see, I have it copied, so I'm just gonna leave that open and clear this. Now we have cleared that, and we can exit the Nix shell because we don't need that. We don't need that anymore. Next, what we need to do, we can look at our instructions. They tell us to paste the following in our configuration.nix file. So wherever you store your configuration.nix file, you need to open it and paste the following code: boot .blacklistedKernelModules, and then put the driver name in here. Basically, what we're going to do is blacklist it, so on boot it doesn't decide to install those kernel modules. That way this chip won't work. This Wi-Fi chip will just be there and it won't work. It will be disabled. So you can use whatever text editor you feel most comfortable with. I would usually use Emacs because I have this bookmark here for my thing, so I could go up to the boot area and paste it into this network area right here. But since you guys might not have Emacs already installed and whatnot, I'm just gonna use NeoVim. You guys can use Vim, it'll work the same way. So I have my path to my configuration file, which is etc-nix-os-configuration file, configuration.nix. And we want to make sure we open this in sudo, because this is a sudo read-only file. We can only edit it if we are administrators. So we're going to use a sudo here. If you guys have a different configuration file stored elsewhere, which is not read-only, or you don't need admin permissions for that, feel free to use that as well. But just make sure that you rebuild with that, that certain file if that's the file you edit with. So let's go sudo nvim, and then let's hit enter, type in our password, and now we're in. Now we want to look for network settings, and you'll notice words like networking and stuff like that. That's when you're in the network settings. And I have an area here called network adapter stuff. Now this enables my new network adapter, right? And here I already have boot blacklisted kernel modules because these kernel modules conflict with this kernel module, which is my network adapter kernel module. So that's why I have these blacklisted. But I also want to add the new kernel module I just got, the driver, so that this Wi-Fi is disabled on reboot. So in order to do that, if you already have the boot blacklisted kernel modules, just go here, go to insert mode because you're in Vim, or you could just, if you're using a normal text editor, you could just use that. So here we'll just go here, press space, put the quotations, even though I could just copy it from here. So I'm just gonna copy that, and then I'm just going to paste it in here. Make sure that it is the right thing. That's probably too small for you guys to see, but it is the right kernel module. Just a space, you don't need any commas or anything, and then you just want to right quit that, and now that's saved. And we're going to clear this, full screen it. So now we've done this part, and we've pasted it all the way up to here. We only have one step left, which is, well, two steps, because we're going to have to reboot. We have to nixos-rebuild switch so that all the changes we made to our configuration file take place. So let's go ahead and do that. We just need to do sudo, because this is a command you need sudo privileges for. Sudo nixos rebuild switch, and then just let that run. After that's done, you only have one thing left to do, which is reboot to see the changes take effect. So let's just go ahead and reboot. As you can see, I just rebooted and my Wi-Fi is all fixed. It no longer has the built-in Wi-Fi chip, only one Wi-Fi adapter, which is stronger and better, which is why I upgraded in the first place, and everything seems to be working fine. That's it. That's all there is to it. Hopefully that helped you guys and you found it useful. If you did, please like this video. If it did not help at all, or if you're still confused, please comment and let me know what went wrong. I'll try and help if I can, and somebody else will also probably try and help if they know what's going on. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.